Better be careful while you're in the junkyard. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am alcoholic. Today, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I could not be any more grateful. This Friday night, I'm super excited for our Friday night crosstalk meeting. If you're local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, I encourage you to come on down, hang out with us for our Friday night crosstalk, 5747 East Pea Ridge Road in Huntington, Pea Ridge United Methodist Church. It's unlike any meeting you've ever been to. It's not an AA meeting, not an NA meeting, just a group of drunks and drug addicts sitting around talking about how we got sober, how we're going to stay that way, drinking a bunch of coffee, and they usually eat a lot of sugary sweetened treats and desserts over there that I just don't understand, but that's beside the point. That's not my business. Anyway, this Friday night, 7 o'clock, you'll see you there. In the thread of meetings, we are always, all the time, talking about the significance and the importance of surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. And we typically think of that from the perspective of meetings. When I first decided to get clean and sober, it made sense in my head to, since I couldn't figure out how to stop drinking myself, it made sense in my head to go talk to somebody who had figured out how to solve their drinking problem, had figured out how to solve their drugging problem. And chances are, I knew early on, I wasn't going to find those people in the produce aisle at my grocery store. I knew that. I knew I probably wasn't going to find those people on the treadmill beside me at the gym. I knew that. It did make sense, though, that if I go to where those people hang out at, I was probably going to be a lot more successful at talking to those people. Where did those people hang out at? At meetings. And so that's why we correlate that. We establish that connection between like-minded individuals and meetings. There's actually a deeper thought process behind that, though. Meetings, is something I talked about just the other day on the short circuit monologue. We're going to meetings to fill up our spiritual cup. But take it a step further. What in the meeting is filling up our spiritual cup? Who is filling up our spiritual cup? It's got to be the people within that meeting that we're attending that is filling up our spiritual cup, or sometimes taking away from our spiritual cup. People are what makes the meeting, if you will. They're the ones that fill up that spiritual cup. Without the people, well, then hell, could you really call it a meeting? Hell, if I showed up and I was the only one there, I kind of call that trespass. I don't want any criminal charges by any means. So the people in the meeting are the ones that are responsible for filling up my spiritual cup, but also they can actually be taking out of my spiritual cup too. But that is where my responsibility comes into play. See, the people we decide to associate with, even in meetings, they could be very beneficial, but sometimes very detrimental too. It all depends upon how many of those people are in that room. For example, there's a few meetings that I have visited where I don't get along with everybody in the room. And that's okay. I don't have to like everybody in the room. That's fair. But I tell you what, some of the people I may not like, when they open up and they share, dude, they're pouring gallons of spiritual goodies in my spiritual cup. And hell yeah, and I appreciate that, and I will be forever grateful, even to the people that are sharing, that are filling up my spiritual cup that I may not like. And yes, by the way, for the record, you can get clean and sober and still not like somebody. You can get clean and sober and still have respectful disagreements with that, but that's a whole nother monologue. The point of the story is the people in the room they're the ones determining how much my spiritual cup, how much they're adding to it and how much is being taken away. Truth be told, I'm really the one responsible for that, if I'm being honest, because I'm responsible for walking into that room where I know that chances are I'm not going to get a whole lot out of this meeting, or chances are I'm going to get some good shit out of this meeting. You get to decide which meetings and which group of people that you surround yourself with. You always hear us talk about the like-minded people. It's actually a little bit more than that. We want to surround ourselves with people who are going to pour in and fill up our spiritual cup whenever we allow them to, again, our responsibility, then people that we hang out with that are taking out of our spiritual cup, which we also allow, by the way, for the record. I use this analogy all the time. It's kind of like my junkyard analogy. If I'm wearing a clean, white, nice, white, bright suit and I walk into a junkyard and I brush up against a dirty car, do I make the car clean or does the car make me dirty? It comes down to the people that we're hanging out with in those rooms that help determine the level of fullness in our spiritual cup. At the end of the day, I understand if you only have one meeting that you in your area, maybe you live in a rural area and there's only one meeting you can go to, and maybe there's not a whole lot of people there you like or you get along with. That's great. Keep going. Keep going back because they may have some shit that you need to hear. But also, don't forget this. You can start your own meeting. It doesn't have to be in a traditional church basement or a VFW or building a recreation center for a community building. It can be in a Waffle House, in an IHOP, anywhere you decide. Find your own group of like-minded people. And remember, those people you surround yourself with are the ones that could be filling up your spiritual cup and helping you progress through your path in sobriety. So with that being said, I'm out of time. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I cannot be any more appreciative. We'll be talking again soon, guys. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.